But first, stuck on the highway with nowhere to go. We're hearing from drivers who were caught in the I-5 shutdown after a pro-Palestine rally blocked parts of the highway for hours. Thanks for joining us for the news at 10. I'm Nia Wong. It truly was a traffic nightmare, snarling northbound traffic and creating a backup between 3 to 6 miles. Fox 13's Dave Detling has been covering the protest since it started earlier this afternoon. He joins us live over I-5 with more tonight.
All right, folks. Well, this is far from the first time it has happened, but I'm doing the video because, frankly, I'm tired of this crap. I'm tired of having to see it. I'm tired of having to deal with it in the United States, which, true story, I'll tell maybe later in the video. And I'm especially tired of the police officers in these situations, both endangering public safety and enabling the protesters by not doing anything about it, by not arresting these people as they should be, by not dispersing the crowds. And I get it. You know, it's not the individual police officers' fault. They get their orders from the politicians and the police departments. But still, you know, we're told to back the blue. We're told, hey, the job of the police is to keep the public safe. And yet in these situations, they repeatedly seem to be doing the exact opposite. So the whole thing is completely shameful. They're not upholding the law. And specifically what I'm talking about is this repeated phenomenon we keep seeing of pro-Palestinian protesters forming huge crowds and blocking roads in major American cities. And in this case, not just blocking a random street downtown, right? These people are getting onto freeways and interstates, you know, where people are going 65, 70 miles per hour. It's incredibly dangerous, both for the protesters' sake and the driver's sake in these situations, and just blocking traffic like a bunch of idiots. And so for the context here, what I'm talking about is over the weekend, a bunch of pro-Palestinian protesters completely shut down the I-5 freeway in downtown Seattle. And this is the reporting of Colin Rugg. According to reports on the ground, police were threatening to arrest the protesters unless they left. Oh, wow. Really? Good job, guys. You were threatening to arrest them? They're already committing a crime and they're already doing something that is very incredibly dangerous. But yeah, guys, we're really keeping everyone safe by saying, hey, Jimmy, if you don't get off the road in the next 10 hours, we might arrest you and send you to jail for 24 hours and then let you go with no charges, right? It's absolutely shameful. Again, I'm just tired of seeing this crap. I don't think any political issue you can possibly be protesting justifies this behavior. It does not win over the support of the public to your side. But just check out this video. You can see for yourself. Here is what a lot of people in American cities are being stuck dealing with from these clowns. Check it out. So there they are protesting. And notice, did you see what I saw? You see what's in that crowd of cars? They're not just blocking ordinary people trying to do their commutes. I would argue that's bad enough. I know the excuses that these protesters usually use is like, hey, what's a couple minutes of your time worth? But someone could be having an emergency. Someone could be needing to get to work. Who knows? Someone may freaking lose their job because they came into work late, and you're being incredibly selfish by deciding what the value is of people's time and energy. But that all aside, notice it's not just normal cars in this crowd of people. See what's on the bottom of your screen there? Yeah, that's an ambulance. That's an ambulance that is flashing its lights. Okay, so someone in this situation could be having a serious medical emergency. They could be having a heart attack. Who knows? They may need minutes to get to the hospital or else they die. It's a matter of life and death, maybe. Who knows? And these selfish, idiotic, moronic scumbags think that their stupid protest is more important than that. All right, that's takeaway number one that I noticed. Number two, as you can see, notice up there in the left-hand corner, there's the police. They're there. It's not like they're not. What are they doing about it? Oh, yeah, flashing our lights. Yeah, we're really scaring them off by doing that. Clearly not. Notice how they're not arresting anyone. Notice how they are enabling these people. Tells you a lot, doesn't it? It tells you a lot. And by the way, I mean, let's be real about why they're really there. Are they even there to disperse these protesters or do anything about the protesters who are blocking the road? Of course not. The real reason they're even parked where they are is actually to make sure that someone doesn't just drive through the crowd. Let's be real about that, because that's how this always goes. You know, if you block the road, if you commit a crime by blocking the road, you know, the police aren't going to do anything about it. But if one car decides that the road actually belongs to them and tries driving through the crowd, you know exactly what's going to happen. You know, actually, no, now you're under arrest. You shouldn't have done that, buddy. You know, that's manslaughter. You just tried to kill someone. We know how this always goes. It is so utterly frustrating. And true story, I almost missed a flight out of LAX over the holiday season, Christmas season, I should say, because apparently the day before they were blocking people from getting into LAX. Okay, so this is the day before my flight. I got lucky, right? I missed their stupid protest by one day. They blocked people from getting into LAX. So imagine if you were just trying to catch a flight. You need to get home or you need to go back to your family or whatever it is. It's around Christmas time and you miss your flight because Palestinian protesters are blocking the road. Okay, so not only can that totally screw up your Christmas plans, could cost you several $100s because of these clowns. But yeah, surely, you know, it's just a minor inconvenience. We're just trying to bring attention to genocide. No, you guys are a bunch of fools. And let me say this, because I know the counter argument that these people always bring, which is there's a genocide going on. You know, this is a very important issue of human rights. Okay. Let me say this to you idiots. Even if there is a genocide going on, according to you, there is no single political issue on the planet, I don't care what it is, that justifies blocking the road and doing this type of behavior. And I'll tell you why. Because what you are doing, you know, your grievance is, I guess, against the state of Israel and against Western governments for supporting Israel in the conflict. Okay. So why don't you go protest the governments? Why don't you go in front of City Hall? Why don't you go in front of, you know, federal government buildings, the White House, whatever, and do your protest there? No, instead what you are doing is you are harassing random civilians who themselves are not even accountable for the decisions that our politicians make. And you're doing so indiscriminately. You know, you're not picking out, hey, that American is a Zionist, so we'll get in his way, but make sure this. No, you're just doing it indiscriminately, right? That's wrong. I don't care what issue you're protesting. That is wrong. You're not protesting against the governments. You are just harassing random civilians. And that is, of course, also highly ironic, considering that is your exact grievance with the state of Israel, right? What are these people saying? They're saying Israel is committing a genocide because they're killing innocent civilians in a war that should be between the governments and their combatants. So your solution to that? Your solution to try to get Israel to stop killing civilians, according to you, is to go harass civilians in the West, and you somehow think this is a good idea. And by the way, you somehow also think this will win over public support, because this is the rationale I have seen from some people. I mean, go check this out for yourself. I saw this guy, Tarif Raouf. I don't know. I guess he's a Muslim, but he's a they, them. I wonder how people in Palestine and Islamic governments would feel about that. But of course, that's besides the point. He applauds this behavior and he says, we are going to inconvenience every single person who doesn't give an F until they give an F. That's how this goes. So the logic here is, hey, if we annoy and make life worse for ordinary civilians in the West, ordinary people, suddenly they're going to care about this and suddenly they're going to support us. I go then with that logic to the first comment I saw here in response, which is I'm now even more pro-Israel. That basically actually sums up the point here, which is, yes, by doing this, you may get some people to notice or think more about the conflict than they were doing before. But how exactly does doing this win over public sympathy? Right? If you're an ordinary American, like a lot of us, who don't know a lot about this conflict, who don't really care about it, but you see the pro-Palestine side is the side that won't get you to work, who's blocking the crowd like a bunch of obnoxious idiots. Which side are you more likely to support? The logic there does not actually make any sense. And this really goes to highlight and demonstrate a bigger problem with the pro-Palestine movement, which is you guys just don't understand optics, do you? You don't actually understand effective ways to win over public support, clearly, because this is not the way to do it. Okay, you do not win over people's sympathy by getting in their way when they're trying to drive in traffic. Okay, all that does is make people despise you. Because when I watch that protest, that's exactly what I think. I think these people are a bunch of idiots, okay? And it's like, if you were an ordinary person who didn't even know their grievance, you probably would watch that and think, well, I hope they lose. I hope they lose because they're just annoying and I don't like them, right? That's kind of human nature. That's how this stuff goes sometimes. And of course, you know, by me saying and rightly pointing out that these people have bad optics and there's no justification to block the road and they're not winning over public sympathy, I'm sure they're going to turn around and say, no, you're just shilling for Israel. You're just a Zionist shill. It's like, no, what I'm just pointing out is that you shouldn't block a road. It's really not that complicated, but you know, apparently this is hard for some people to understand. One protester who participated in this, although I don't know if, you know, I'm not going to call them protesters. They are criminals and they are terrorists. So one criminal who participated in this dangerous behavior here celebrated themselves for it. They said, today, over 200 of us shut down I-5 North for a ceasefire and a free Palestine. Which, by the way, I noticed in this video right here, it's nighttime. Okay, you look at the other video, it's in the daytime. So if you ever needed confirmation that the police who were threatening to arrest them didn't actually do anything about it, there's all the proof you need. And it says, we were supported by hundreds more on the overpass. Our numbers were so vast that no one was arrested. So there's your confirmation. The Seattle police, back the blue, by the way, didn't do anything about this. And he says that we keep each other safe. So, you know, again, first of all, my response to you is you are a criminal and a terrorist, like I said. But I'm going to also say, buddy, the guy who posted this, I don't know if it's the smartest idea to publicly admit that you were down here on the freeway doing this. I'm going to just say that, okay? Because you are lucky that for now, clearly the authorities, law enforcement, the DA in Seattle have absolutely no plans to do anything about it. But you did commit a crime. You did commit a pretty serious crime. So by publicly admitting that this is what you have done, in the case where authorities decide that they actually want to enforce the law, decide that they actually want to do something about this, you, on the record, just said you participated. So, you know, that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, okay. I think you guys basically get the point by now. But in conclusion, I will once again reiterate. I'll once again say this, okay, to the pro-Palestine side. You are not doing yourself any favors by harassing random civilians. Not only is it clearly the immoral thing to do, considering they're not responsible for Western governments in the same way you claim that Palestinian civilians are not responsible for Hamas, okay? But even from a practical perspective, because I can tell clearly anyone who does this doesn't actually have any morals, it's not even effective. It's not. Because first of all, you know, the governments, you're not even protesting against the governments. But also ordinary people are not going to see this, not going to deal with this, and then feel sympathetic towards you. They're going to despise you. They're going to resent you. And by proxy, they're going to resent what you're trying to protest for. And that's just obviously the case. But with that said, folks, let me know your thoughts on this entire situation down in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear some pro-Palestine people's thoughts on this. Okay? I really would. How does this type of behavior help your side or somehow stop Israel or whatever? Okay, all it shows is you're unserious, and it shows that like no one has a reason they should like you, and that's the truth. I'm just telling you the truth. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. Be sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and until next time, Alpha Moves Only. God bless. Have a very good day. I hope none of you have to deal with this crap. In peace.